Louisiana Beer Review Special Edition, St.Bernardus Abt 12, revisited. Now, the last time I reviewed this was 2011. Didn't seem like that long ago, but time flies. All right, so it wasn't as expensive when I bought it. Used to be able to get the big 25.4 ounce bottle for like $10.99. Now they're like $16.99 or $14.99. So they've gone up a little bit. Abbey Ale, this was introduced in 1992. Brewed and bottled by Brewery St. Bernard in Watu, Belgium. Got a great Best By date of about 3 years from now. It's an ale, and they say it's a dark beer of top fermentation with a robust head that is ivory in color. Very fruity aroma. That is the result of using our own unique yeast. It brims over with different complex tastes and stands out through its long bittersweet finish. They don't show the ingredients. It doesn't say if it's bottle fermented. They used to be in collaboration with St.Sixtus Monastery of Belgium, and they brewed the beer for them, West Flaterran 12, but the contract ended in 92, and the new rule for Trappist beers was that they had to be brewed by the monks, not contract brewed. So the people that were making this knew the recipe, and so they just mimicked it at their own production facility. All right, but they claim on the website that this is the same recipe that was started back in 1946. All right. Beer Advocate scores it 99 out of 100, world class. Rate Beer's got it 100 out of 100 and 100 out of 100 in the style. And Untapped's not so thrilled with it. They only give it an 80, which will translate over to a 90 on the Beer Advocate system. Like, they're saying it's awesome, but it's not world class or amazing. I guess awesome is amazing. It's a solid A, but not above that is what they're saying. It's not outstanding or world class. Okay. And I can't say because it's been so long since I've had it. It's a brown beer. A cream-colored head. Hear sirens again. All right, so Abbey Ale is what is considered ales that aren't actually made at an abbey, but they mimic the Trappist style. So it could just be made by a big company. They might give money to an abbey, like with the Lef beers that InBev makes in Europe. A percentage of the sales go to the Lef monastery because it was just more cost effective for them to make that contract agreement. Christian Brothers brandy, they used to make it at the Christian Brothers monastery in California, but that became problematic for them when the older people retired and then died, and so the younger brothers weren't interested in brandy production, so they turned it over to Heaven Hill, who does it for them, and then give a percentage to the Christian Brothers order. All right. And I think Buckfast Abbey in England, they make a little bit of their tonic wine, but the volume is too much, so they can't produce it, so they contract out to a contractor. And we don't get the Buckfast Abbey tonic wine in the United States, so I can't comment on its quality. Not a whole lot of aroma going on here, honestly. Maybe a little just generalized beer aroma, like fermented grains, but I'm just telling you the truth. There's not it's pretty, but there's not a whole lot of aroma coming off of this thing. All right, let's go with the taste. Cheers. A lot of bread. Brown bread, spiced bread. That's coming from the yeast, gives it that spicy note. You get raisins. It's like a mix of golden raisin and the dark raisins. The carbonation is prickly. The body's low medium. You would think 10% alcohol is going to be a heavy body beer. But honestly, it isn't. It's kind of light bodied, which could be dangerous. But at the price point, $5.99 for this little bottle, I doubt too many people are going to be slamming these back. You know, wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. Prickly carbonation. The bitterness is low. It's only 20 bitterness units, so we're looking at the most 2 out of 5 sugar cubes. Sweetness, well, it's not too sweet at all. Let's say 2 out of 5 sugar cubes, and that's pushing it. So bitterness, 2 out of 5 hop cones. I think I might have said sugar cubes earlier. Sometimes I'll think a thing and I'll say the wrong thing. I always do that. It's nothing to do with age. I'll think Mardi Gras and I'll say Halloween. Okay. So it's a mostly dry ale, and it's not a sweet. Obviously, it's not sweet if it's dry, and it's not a bitter ale. So the sweetness is low and the bitterness is low. It's just the bread, the brown bread, mild. The mild spices from the yeast. I read here and there people say they add candy sugar to it. I can't say that they are, because they're not giving ingredients on the bottle, nor are they doing that on the website. And I was going through the website pretty carefully, and that's where they were talking about the history of the product. You know, how they had to leave France, the original monks, because of this anti-Catholic movement in France in the early 1900s, which goes back really to 1789, but there was this big uproar with the Dreyfus affair, controversial political crisis that went on for years and culminated in 1904. And so the anti-Catholic faction got control of the government, and Belgium, having a Catholic king, they were more suitable right across the border, more amenable to the monks, so they went there. And then later they did go back, some of them did go back to France, because they calmed down over there, and but there's a presence in both countries. So and just how they had collaborated with these people and these brewers, and it's so complicated. I'm not going to go into the whole story. It's too complicated. You probably, if you start to read it, you probably stop reading it. It's just too much. But needless to say, in '92 is when it wasn't like a big fight or argument between the groups. It was just that, well, the new rule with Trappist is we have to do our own beer, so we can't continue the contract. And the company, St.Bernardus, like, okay. But in their mind, they knew, they renamed the company St.Bernardus in '92. They said, we know how to make it and mimic it. So this is the commercial version, more or less, of West Voltaire 12, they say. And then West Voltaire 12, you can only buy it at the Abbey in Belgium. But there was one time in 2012 they did sell it in the U.S. for like a day, because it sold out in one day in because it needed to fix the roof, and the only way to raise money quick was to sell it over here. And I remember that it sold out. And the people in Houston, Texas said, we can't get it, we can't get it. And then we found it here in this small parish. Matherns had it, but it sold out. You know, it was available for about an hour, basically. And this is in 2012. It was $85 a six-pack. But you got two glasses. Like, I have one, and my friend Paul has the other. I gave it to him. Now, to me, the West Veteran 12 is the best beer I ever had. It's easily a 100 out of 100 or higher, which means better than perfect. This one, and I think I said this in the 2011 review. We did a duo review, Paul and I. I don't think I ever did a solo review of this. We thought it was fabulous, you know, but wasn't quite up to the West D12, the West Veteran 12. I don't think it is now. And I only drank that one like 2.5 times, right? Once, and then shared it. And people wanted to trade. People were like, I want a bottle. And one guy was like, I'll do anything. I said, well, you don't have to do anything, you know what I mean? But he traded me like basically $50 of craft beer for one bottle. And I wasn't out there trying to solicit it. I was just going to drink the 6 bottles. But when I put that on the internet, people was going wild, you know. And then I gave some to Paul. And I actually had bought 2 6-packs. But then there was a problem where I wasn't supposed to get both. And the store was asking, could you bring the other one back? Because we weren't really supposed to do that. And I was like, all right, you know. I could have been a hard case about it and said, no, that's your problem, you know, but I was like, nah, I don't want to, you know, I don't need to have 12 bottles. So I did that, you know. But anyway, this one I can get more or less anytime I go to Dornack's Food Center. They're going to have it. They had the huge bottles at World Market in Harvey, Louisiana. But $16.99, I wasn't really too keen on that price, I'm going to tell you the truth. And I thought, nah, I don't need that much volume. I mean, I like it. So I paid $5.99 for this 11.2 ounce. So that's $11.98 for 22.4 ounces. Still a better deal, you know. The other one I'm getting 25.4 and I'm paying $16.99, but I think Dornack's had it for $14.50 for the big one. I just didn't need the big one, you know, with the cage, the cork in the cage. It's nice. It's I can't argue about that. And then they had the red one. I mean the green label, the Tripel. I'm not too keen on Tripels. I don't like that champagne taste. I'm not against champagne, but I'm not keen on it. And the Tripels, to me, they taste too much like straw or grain husks. That gold color in that grain husk, I don't like it. And like bubble gum a little bit, something, I don't know. It's something I can't put my finger on. I don't like them. I'd rather a Double or a Tripel. A Double or a quadrupel. But Tripels, meh. That's my least favorite, you know, of the Belgian styles. Like Chimay White Cap, the 5 cents. It's awesome. I'm not going to say it's not, but I wouldn't really want to drink it. But the Chimay Grand Reserve, the blue cap, and the red is the Premier, the red cap, the Premier is wonderful. And they run about the same price. They're about the same price. Actually, I think they're $6.99, and that's a Trappist beer. They're actually Trappist. Monks make it, and they make cheese too. So this was $5.99, and the Chimay is the same size bottle is $6.99. Okay, last bit of assessment on this. Then I'm going to stop. I'm going to take a photo of it. Belgian beers, are they my favorite beer in the world? They're not really. my favorite beer in the world. I used to be more amazed by them, but then I got kind of used to the flavor. And then I thought, they're kind of just like sugar sweetened beers. But they are wonderful, and this one is wonderful. So you could say they're adjunct beers because they add sugar, candy sugar, which supposedly is made from beets. But still, it doesn't matter. It's sugar. Okay, so sweetened beer. Okay, all right. It's not Steel Reserve 211 Alloy Series. Those are also sweetened with sugar. But yeah, all right. But yeah, very sweetened. But now I don't know if any money from this is being donated to monasteries. It's just a commercial company. It's, you know, I'm not against that, being a free enterprise person. This channel is very free enterprise oriented, to say the least. But I like the light body, relatively light body. The prickly carbonation is good, but you can't drink it fast because it's more sediment than I thought. Well, I think it's bottle fermented. Meaning they put live yeast in the bottle. Will it take 14 more years to do another revisit? Knowing myself, yeah, probably. I'll just keep saying I had that recently, and I won't realize it's been over a decade. I think it'd be like 2 years ago. But a 100 out of 100, I'm not seeing that, honestly. Maybe in 2011 I was seeing that. I think it's fabulous. Are there any negatives? It could have more aroma, but that's nitpicking. But I think a 9.7 is fair, because that's what I gave the Goose Island 2024 Bourbon County brand stout, and to me that was a bad year for it because it only scored a 97, so it's like a down year. And maybe this is a down year for St. Bernardus 2024 because that was last year, but maybe that was a down year, but because it's showing a 2024 production at 10:17 a.m. Belgian time. So I think 9.7 is fair. Like, it's most excellent. It's not exactly amazing because it just isn't. All right. And that's not a very good description of it. So, but if you see it, is it worth $5.99? Clearly it is. But you could, yeah, if you've never had it before and you could find a big handle, you know, the 25.4 ounce bottle, corked and caged, for $14.50, $14.99, yeah, go with that because you've never had it before and you could share it with friends or drink it alone. But if you had it before, it might be better just to get the little bottles. So yeah, all right, so sorry for the long video, but I had to think about it. You know, I had to think on it while I always tell people you got to think on it while you drink on it. Don't be in a rush, because if you're in a big rush with beer, I mean, why are you in a rush? You know, so 9.7 out of 10. Sorry for the relatively low score. And I'm going to end this review by saying y'all go to Belgium and take a brewery tour.